Did you miss me? Well, probably those of you that thought like I did that WrestleMania Night 1 was ass cheeks, you probably did, and you're ready for me to roast this show in this review. For those that enjoyed this for some particular fucking reason that is unbeknownst to me, lower standards, I don't know, you probably won't like what I have to say, but nonetheless, this show was ass cheeks. You cannot honestly tell me that in any way, shape, or form this show felt like it lived up to being a WrestleMania. You can't tell me in any capacity whatsoever where this show was great. It just fucking wasn't. Now, I realize I'm not there in person, so my viewing experience from home watching via Peacock is entirely different. But I am speaking from that perspective. This was dog shit. It was a slog. It was a drag. I found myself fighting sleep multiple times throughout the night, and the only great thing about this show is when it finally fucking ended. Like, I don't know, some of this shit might sound like boomer takes, but it is what it fucking is. It's maybe one thing to have one logo in the middle of the ring and then something on the ring apron, but the logo vomit going on the ring mat is fucking distracting. Paying the bills is one thing, greed is a fucking another. And so much of what I saw of night 1 of WrestleMania reminds me of just how truly corporate and sellout WWE has become. If you thought it used to be bad under Vince McMahon, ha ha ha, you found out how much worse it could be. This TKO WWE bullshit is for the birds. Like, the prices for the in-person experience for tickets were so goddamn high that a lot of your hardcore fans that maybe haven't saved up all year or aren't as well off won't be able to afford tickets. Therefore, you got a bunch of people that go that view it more as like, hey, it's a thing to go to, and the crowd is kind of half-assed throughout the fucking night. Like, this is fucking WrestleMania! It should feel like it should look like it, and it should sound like it. And it didn't do any of that shit last night. This was absolutely terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And from a viewing experience on Peacock, it's really fucking hard to get into the show and get yourself emotionally invested and prepared from one match to the next, when as soon as the one match ends, bam, you're off to 5 minutes of fucking commercials. I realize that's part of my penance for not paying for the more premium package of Peacock, but for fuck's sakes, at some point in time, enough is enough. At least when you get to the goddamn main event, at least when you get to the title matches or a couple of them, could we actually show the video package to everybody? It significantly ruins the damn viewing experience. Not to mention the worst part about Peacock, although you could argue that was dog shit, was how throughout the night, again, a consistent problem with their shitty ass premium live events on Peacock is that the video and the audio aren't fucking synced up. How dog shit it is when somebody gets slammed onto the mat and then a second or two later you're boom. How stupid it is when you see the count and then you hear it afterwards. That's Bush League bullshit. Seriously, that's Bush League bullshit. So yeah, this was rough. And the overall card on night 1 didn't help very much. Now obviously, one of the things that was splendiferous, magnificent, fantastic, dare I say holy, was how much Triple H was featured throughout the night. The man is truly God. I'm just saying. He puts himself into his own Hall of Fame and then pretends like he had nothing to do with it. He commences a statue build for himself and then acts surprised for the big reveal. He sits there and speaks at the Hall of Fame for over an hour giving his testimonial from the WWE pulpit. And then make sure that he gets multiple appearances on night 1 of this show. Mag-fucking-nificent. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. Ugh. On everything that is the Hunter, the Hearst, and the Helmsley. You believe in whatever false prophets and idols you want. I see God. I feel God. I experience him and you do too. You see miracles happen all the time, damn it. And this weekend is full of them. Unfortunately, it doesn't carry over to the damn match card. You start off the entire show with main event Jey Uso in the curtain jerker spot. As a general rule, I realize sometimes this happens, and it's not the first time it's ever happened for sure, but I'm generally not a fan of one of your world championship matches kicking off WrestleMania. It just can't happen. I realize based off of show flow, etc., sometimes one of them's going to have to be in the mid-card. You can't necessarily have them back-to-back. That's fine. But for it to be here, oh, we got to start off the show with the bang. All you do is devalue the fucking title even more. And as far as this match goes, I thought part of the whole appeal here was going to be that main event Jey Uso, your Royal Rumble winner, gets one more shot at Gunther after not being able to beat him several times, which seems to set itself up to a David versus fucking Goliath story. But instead, we don't get that. We get some competitive ass back and forth 50-50 match, and it's bullshit. And as much as Jey Uso is over with the crowd and the fans, and you cannot deny that for a second, he certainly fucking is. And as happy as they were when he won the belt, and by God, this is a guy that's paid his dues for a long time, put in a lot of work. He's gotten himself over to the point where you can justify it. I don't hate on that whatsoever. With that said, this was kind of the fear I had when he won the Royal Rumble, is that the match wasn't going to deliver. It didn't fucking deliver. Whoever was the agent for this match should be kicked in the crotch, because this was dumb. And then when you get to the finish, it's one thing to have Gunther submit. Although you would say, why wouldn't you just have him pass out? But why would you need to do that anyways? And anyway, nonetheless, not only did you not have him pass out and try to protect him, you had him tap out to Jey Uso. And not only did you have him tap out to Jey Uso, he did it almost fucking immediately. This was stupid. Defend it if you want in the comments, but just know you're fighting a losing battle. It was dumb, period. Next. Now, admittedly, over the past couple of months, I have not been that plugged into WWE or wrestling in general, right? So, some of the things I say here, it's like, oh, I think I saw it on social media or heard about it. Did I hear that on SmackDown there was a tag title match? It was like a ladder match or a TLC match or something. Why the fuck wasn't that on WrestleMania instead of this tag title match that we got? Now look, when you got Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, that's an act, the New Day, that this company has invested a lot in over the years. They certainly deserve a WrestleMania spot, but did they need this WrestleMania spot in this match? It felt incredibly stupid to me that after all that big deal about them casting off Big E and going on their own, that they're going to A, stick together as a tag team, and B, their big goal is to go win the fucking tag titles. Just felt like a large waste of time. The crowd really wasn't into this. I can't blame them. I wasn't fucking into this. None of this worked. The New Day wins, and the crowd goes, mostly. I mean, that's mostly what happened here. So through two matches on this show, I was thinking like, this is going to be WrestleMania 9 level bad, WrestleMania 27 level bad. Like, this was going to be dog shit. But here in the middle, I got picked up a little bit. Jade, Cargill, and Naomi. Oh, hands free. Don't even. Which hand you use? Who said I needed a hand at that point as soon as I saw him? But they kept this match pretty tight. Probably could have even been another 2 to 3 minutes less. But the crowd was into this. I was into this. You had a reason to care about why these two were facing off against each other. You understood the animosity. You understood the heat between them. And you wanted to see Jade Cargill win. And props to Naomi for doing her best to put Jade in some good spots. You can still see where Jade is a little rough here and there. Kind of loses her place at a time or two during the match. But the big power bomb and then into Jade's finish, like that shit really worked. This was a good match. You had these two ladies getting a one-on-one match that wasn't for a title at WrestleMania, and they justified that positioning. Honestly, I kind of wish the show would have opened up with this one because it would have set me in a little bit of a better mood. But this one came in and it was still relatively well timed because it helped start to like get the taste out of my mouth from the dog shit that was the first two matches. And then the momentum picked up even more when we got to the U.S. Championship match between Jacob Fatu and LA Knight. Like, you look at Fatu and you say, this is a future WrestleMania main eventer. And pretty soon, as in like WrestleMania 42 or WrestleMania 43. It's fascinating to me, as much as television time as they've invested in Solo the past couple of years, all he was there to do is walk out Fatu, and then he went backstage. That's wild to me. It's amazing how much shit changes, and sometimes company makes a pivot and say, oh, what we thought was true isn't true anymore. The conditions and the circumstances have changed. And it's clear that they have here, right? Really good match between Fatu and LA Knight. Can't say enough for the 10 or so minutes that they went. Like, this was good. They got in, they got their shit done, made both of them look good. Right guy won. Solid mid-card title match at a Big Four pay-per-view. It doesn't blow the roof off the joint, but compared to what you had seen previously, especially at the beginning of the show, man, it was a welcome change of pace for sure. Now, I know some others are going to look at El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix and be really happy about that one. I would say, isn't it technically Americano El Grande? Anyways, yeah, definitely not Chad Gable. Gets a WrestleMania win here. And this was okay to me. Like, this is probably one that maybe if I watched a little bit more, I'd have a little bit more reason to care. Because I didn't even know who the El Grande Americano character was. I'm like, who the fuck is this, right? I had no fucking clue. So it was kind of random. And from my viewing perspective, since it felt like a kind of random match, I think it needed to deliver more than it really did. Mid is what I would say. Not worth shitting on, like, let's say, the first two matches. What's worth shitting on, though, is the next match. Big fucking shock. Charlotte Flair on the WrestleMania stage, and she sucked again. For the life of me, in the year of our Hunter, 2025, I cannot fathom why fans continue to delude themselves into thinking that Charlotte Flair is any fucking good. She's not. She's fucking sucks. And this match should have been yet another shining beacon of such suck. Terrible. The chemistry between these two ladies was awful. It felt like Charlotte was trying to sandbag or pulling some old school Randy Orton bullshit of, well, I'm not going over, then I don't give a fuck, and I don't really care how we look at this match. I'm certainly not going to make the other person look good. And you could say, well, Tiffany's got to take some blame because she's the champion. Yeah, that's true. But Charlotte's the celebrated one, the one of the best of all time. She's supposed to be able to lead them to something better than this abortion that we fucking got. The only two good things about this match, the only two, was that Tiffany retained and it fucking ended. And you got nothing out of it. They both look worse for this botchy bitch fest. And in particular, for Charlotte Flair, yet again, you put her in a big spot and it doesn't fucking matter. It does nothing for her character. She is just like what we've seen an epidemic of over the past few years of these strong female leads. Like if you remember Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, just one of many examples, right? Where they've got to undercut the male character in order to push and pound the female character over the top. She has no vulnerability. She has no weakness. There is no narrative or story that you can get invested in. And while you're not undercutting guys here in this case, it is eerily similar, isn't it? They continue to force and pound Charlotte Flair down your fucking throat, the pyro and all the other bullshit. Meanwhile, there is absolutely no reason to really give a fuck about her. She's never vulnerable. She never changes her fucking character. She has no goddamn charisma, no mic skills. I could go on and fucking on. And most importantly of all, for somebody as decorated and celebrated as that botchy bitch is, time after time when you get to the big stage, the big moment, she doesn't fucking come through. And this was god awful. How this match ended up getting the second most time on this show was criminal. Be realistic about what you got. Just because you can go 20 minutes doesn't mean you should. Just because you can go 15 doesn't mean you should. If you only need to go 10, then go 10. Tighten that shit up. The fact that this went 20 minutes was dog shit. The fact that Tiffany didn't come out of this looking better was dog shit. The fact that Charlotte Flair got pounded into this spot again was dog shit. Worst match of the night. And one of the worst WrestleMania matches when you factor in the participants and the stakes and card positioning and so forth. One of the worst WrestleMania matches I have seen in a long time. Long time. Yeah, it was that bad. Even the people that I would expect to be effusive in the praise of this because it's the ladies wrestling or because it's fucking Charlotte Flair. Eerily quiet, crickets to like mild criticism, and for them to provide mild criticism is striking. And at this point in time in the night, I'm like, oh great. All I've got left is the fucking triple threat main event, and I hate triple threat matches with a passion, especially when they don't involve the fucking title. But I also knew like the three guys you've got going in the main event know what the hell they're doing. Roman knows what he's doing. CM Punk knows what he's doing. Seth Rollins knows what he's doing. And most importantly of all, there's story behind all of it. Like it is remember it's a better times of the WWE where they could tell layered, multi-level, nuanced stories. Roman and CM Punk have reason to have beef. CM Punk and Seth Rollins have reason to have beef. And especially Roman and Seth have a decade plus of history and reason to have beef. So you know going into this match, when you think about the competitors and when you think about the stories and then you sprinkle a Paul Heyman into the mix, you think to yourself, okay, like this has a chance to be good. No, it's not going to save this show. It's going to make it feel more like a traditional WWE pay-per-view of the last few years of the McMahon era and then into this WWE TKO era of most of the rest of the show is shit and the main event really delivers. They seem to pull it out of their ass and then people try to lie to themselves and pretend like this show was a whole lot fucking better than it was. And I'm sure that's what's happening here because this main event was fantastic. No big surprise. And what I liked was that it wasn't literally just one-on-one the entire time and one guy is rest. Certainly you're going to have that in a triple threat. There were times of that. But plenty of interplay between the three of them. And as I was watching this match, I'm thinking to myself, okay, they're making a deal about Heyman out there and being with CM Punk. That can't be the outcome here. He can't be aligning with Punk to turn on Roman. Furthermore, as big of a deal they're making about it, it's like we're not going to swerve you, so we're totally going to swerve you. It doesn't make sense for him to come out of here in Roman's corner. It felt like to me the only viable option, the only way this fucking worked, was for Seth Rollins, the architect, to be aligned with Paul Heyman, and Paul Heyman helped Seth Rollins win. And by God, where it was initially going, it looked like he was going to help Punk, and then he was no, and he was going to help Roman instead. And then it's like, oh shit, they are going there. And it worked, and it was fantastic. Now, for the first time in a long time, I'm interested in what are they going to do with the Seth Rollins character. Now, I sit there and say to myself, okay, what does this mean next for CM Punk? What does this mean next for Roman Reigns? And when you talk about Roman Reigns, you know, one of the good things about this type of an outcome, as much as I would have loved to have seen him go over here, is the fact that he has a foible. He has somebody that seems to always get the best of him, and that's Seth Rollins. And there's a long history of that, of him being one step ahead of Roman, of him outthinking Roman, of outpositioning Roman. And the shit works. Like the last 5 to 10 minutes of this match was absolutely fantastic. So at least I could end the night on a high note, but it still wasn't enough to save this dog shit viewing experience. The Peacock platform sucks. The logo vomit is ridiculous. All of the sponsored by shit within the show is awful. The sheer volume and number and frequency of ads that they run during a premium live event, which it's not just any premium live event, that's one thing, but it's fucking WrestleMania, is abysmal. The crowd was half-ass into it throughout the night, which could have been something that leveled up my viewing experience, but it wasn't fucking there, obviously. Yeah, this was bad. This was just bad. And you know, I thought, as I often do, that since I don't watch the weekly shows, I don't get quite as invested in the storylines anymore, and I don't get as critical about, well, what about this and this and this and this? So I come into it a little fresher, and sometimes that works, but in this case, it certainly didn't fucking make a difference, because dog shit is dog shit, folks. This was ass cheeks. And I find it very hard to believe that night 2 is going to be a whole lot better. Because whether we like it or not, we are in a new corporate sellout era of WWE.